If you're new to my channel, I'm Felicia. I'm a former actuary and pension specialist. I'm here to share my knowledge through how I got to financial freedom at a very early age through property investment, pensions and stock market investments. So this video is all about pensions. Today I'm going to talk about different types of pensions out there. So today I talk about the state pension, the workplace pension and the private pensions available, and go through different types of things that I think it's sort of relevant and useful to know. And as the saying goes, you only know what you know. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the state pension. So the state pension is basically if you work and you pay your national insurance contributions, and then you're entitled to the full state pension, which is now payable at age 66 at the moment, going to 67 soon. And basically that means you got to put in paid for 35 years of national insurance contributions. And I'll put a link below in the comment sections to where you can go and check whether you have actually paid your full or where you are with your national insurance contributions. One reason I'm making this video is because there's a deadline coming up, April 2025, where we can go back to 2006 and plug in any gaps in the national insurance contributions. After that date, we can only go back 6 years. So potentially that's 12 years where if you got gaps and you don't plug it, that's roughly 37% of your state pension, which currently is 11,500 and going up to just under 12,000. So it's worth paying. I think it's a good benefit to have, and it increases on retirement by the triple lock. So the higher of three rates, your 2.5%, the wage rate, and the CPI, Consumer Price Index. So that's so key, just to check where you are with your national insurance contributions. So that's that one. The new state pension is monthly or weekly rates, actually higher than the old state system. The new system needs 35 years. Under the old system, you may need to pay more than 35 qualifying years. So it's important just to log on to that government website. You need your government gateway number just to check. It does take a few days. You haven't got that at hand. It just takes a few days to register with national insurance, your national insurance number, your age and your date of birth. And to get that number, then you go in there and check where you are with your national insurance contributions. Once it's gone, it's gone. So we've only got a few, about 10 weeks left to just, to pay that amount. Sometimes you may work part-time, so you may have a partial amount, and you still need to top it up to get the full amount. So it's worth checking where you are with that. I'm really passionate about that because not a lot of people are aware that, you always assume that when you retire, you're going to get the state pension, but never assume, just like making this video so everyone can check that they are in that position to do so, to get the full state pension when they get to state pension age. And it's not really important to everyone because not everyone needs to fill in that gap, but it's just worth going in there and having an informed decision and making an informed decision whether it's relevant to you or not relevant to you. So moving on to the other type of pension, we've got the workplace pension. Workplace pension is like every employer now has to contribute to or set up a pension scheme. I think when you've got two or more employees, and they have to pay 3% of your relevant earnings between just over 6,200 to 50,000, and that range is called the relevant earnings, and they got to pay 3% into that. And some employers may pay more, so you need to ask your HR department whether that's the case, whether they do actually have higher, they'll pay more into your pension. And then they pay 3% as a minimum, 1% is from the tax relief from the government, and you pay 4%. So that would then grow in your pension scheme. Again, check where you are with that. Dig out your pension statement. Most of it now are online, and so log into that, see where you are, and just make a conscious decision to take ownership of your pension and see where you are. And that can then work. You can then work towards your how much it would go towards your retirement fund. So that's the workplace pension. And within the workplace pension, there's actually two types. There's what we call defined contribution and defined benefit workplace pension. Defined benefit is basically based on your salary and your number of years you've worked for that company. And they tend to be like in the public sector. It used to be in the private sector. So people in my generation, when I used to work in insurance companies, I had access to a defined benefit pension. So they're fixed. You know what you can work out where you get annual statement. You can work out where you've got, and it doesn't vary. It's not based on the stock market going up and down. So the investment risk is taken on by the employer. So that's defined benefit, or sometimes it's referred to as final salary pension. Then you've got the defined contribution or money purchase pension, and that's really depends on how much money you put in, yourself and your employer, and that's called the contributions. And then the investment risk is taken on by us, the employee. We've got to decide, once the money goes into the pension scheme, you've got to decide where it's allocated, which funds it goes into. So a lot of people just are set up when they go into a new company, they're set up into a pension, and then they just don't look into their pension at all, and they're put into a default pension fund, the balance managed. That's what sometimes it's referred to, and it's just basically a default, as the name says, default. And so it doesn't really cater for the individual, doesn't look into your risk profile, your age, how long you've got to retirement. So it's up to the individual employee to go into that pension scheme, look at all the funds and decide which one is appropriate for their needs. So they look at the performance over the last 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and find out, maybe compare it with for instance, a global fund like a Vanguard one, and see how the default fund has measured up in terms of returns. And so that's why it's good to take an active interest in your pension and dig out the statement, compare and contrast, and see whether it's actually your contribution going into your fund is working for you. So that's one action point to take away from this video. Check on where your pension contributions actually been allocated, which fund, which investment fund. It's up to us, the individual, to decide. That's one thing I didn't do, even though I was I work in the field, I'm a qualified actuary. I just assumed my pension was being managed well by the trustees. And then when lockdown happened, I had more time. I dug out all my, did more admin, dug out all my pension statements, and realised that when my pension contribution was going into the fund wasn't as good as if I put it into another fund where it's more like global, had access to US and other countries. So please do check and don't make the mistake I made, with my own pension fund. Since I've done that, since lockdown over the last 5 years, the performance, the funds I chose has actually gone up oh my God, it's 3 times doubled. So it's worth checking and worth just doing a bit of homework and working out, okay, where is my contributions going into, and what the other funds available, what the fees and what the performance, and see whether that's you can self-select which ones you direct your contributions into. So that was a mistake I made, and that's why I'm doing this video, because if I've made a mistake and I'm a pension specialist, everyone else will perhaps be in that same position. So you've got the defined benefit and you've got the defined contribution scheme. And then the reason I'm so passionate about pension is that it's so tax efficient. So when you go and put contributions into your pension fund, it's before tax, so you don't pay tax on it. So it's not taxed on the way in. And whilst it's growing over your before you get to retirement age, it grows tax-free income and capital. And at the end, you do pay tax, but you've got 25% of your pension pot, which is tax-free. So again, it's a very tax-efficient way of providing for your retirement. And so that's why I'm really passionate about talking about pensions in this YouTube channel. So you've got that going on, and so you've got defined contribution, defined benefit. You've got the fact it's tax efficient, and it's a good way of providing for income in retirement. And so we've got another type of pension is called SIPP, SIPP, Self-Invested Personal Pension, and now it's with other providers, pension providers out there like AJ Bell, II, and Vanguard, and basically it's they've got a platform that's just basically they're all called platforms, another word name for them, and they provide different types of funds and have different fees and different fund fees and platform fees, and you can just go and sort of do your homework. And another type of pension is the SASS, SSAS, small Self-Administered Scheme. It's basically another name for it. It's also a director's pension, and basically then you can take this pension out as a self-employed person with needs a limited company, and that company, your sponsoring company, it's called. With that, you can actually take 50% of your pension, your SASS pension, and loan it into your company and to grow your business. And the SASS pension also allows you to buy commercial property, and other things that you can actually invest in is listed shares, like ETFs and stock market funds, options. Some SASS administrators who help you to make sure you're compliant with HMRC rules allow you to invest in crypto, option trading, and yeah, it's very versatile for those who are directors of their own company. And you can have up to 11 members within a SASS pension scheme. So yeah, it's a good one to have as well. So there's a summary of all the pensions available to us. And comment below if you've got any questions. And thanks again for listening.